What am I talking about? There was nothing I could have done. It was you who kissed me, after all. I believe you were bought by Mrs. F. Is that why you wish to be a nutter? So you wouldn't have to be here? I watched you carefully. I saw you put on a costume. Did you do that to be a nutter? Or to be even more of what you already are? I'm just saying. You're even giving me your soul now that's stuck inside you like the caterpillar inside a butterfly, or vice versa. That really wasn't necessary. You're an animal, Mr. Prince. I, on the other hand, believe that I am an event. Because they occur, not because they get into that sort of thing. Even though my clothes always used to be described in great detail as if it was the most important aspect of myself, I am always the same. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to occur. Otherwise, I would always only just become. And nobody would recognize me in my photographs. You, however, Mr. Prince, are a nutter just now. I would have preferred if you stayed as you were. In any case, I don't need to put on God knows what. God knows what. God knows what in order to be somebody. That's for sure. But you can only take place here now. Because he's my property now. Mine. By way of a kiss. Like any newborn. I could have easily tricked you with a fake beard or a stiff blue collar. A baby doesn't care what daddy's wearing. It even finds him handsome in a hospital smock. The one I am now only needs to prove to you that I, who am God, get to choose who else I'd want to be. That wasn't yet necessary when I came to you. I could come as I was. Simple, of course. I could come as I was, as a prince. I awakened you with the revitalizing freshness of Club Mate. With the revitalizing freshness of Club Mate. With the revitalizing freshness of Club Mate. With my mouth, so to speak, I painted a model of you, which was presented to me. I only found what I expected to find. I only created what I wanted to create. Nothing happened to you. Nothing happened to me. As an afterthought, I could say I found you accidentally, but I'd rather say I discovered you, recovered, and made you. And now I am presenting you to the press. First, something is made up, and then it is shown. The essence of creation. My specialty. If you had been dead, I, like any other creator who didn't foresee such a thing, would have had to ask myself, was this really necessary? What did I do wrong? Is this the princess, or is she not? No, she's definitely not. No. If you had been dead, I would have to ask myself in the view of your corpse. Now what? Can I bring the dead body back to life again? I already did it. Why can't I do it? Is this object human at all? Or not? I can't remember if I made it. Is it the corpse I'm facing?
And good night.
Staring across lit end to end on the ground somewhere lies my broken smile. Whom do I want to talk to?
And in case you're looking for world beauty, we have it. You can get it or a similar one, whatever we have right now, anytime. Take our glasses from our brand competition. From the other one, they also carry brands too. Those expired. They've lost their appeal. That's all there is for the world. They also want to see something they don't have. Look through our certified glass. Fit doesn't matter. You can throw one anytime. It's the glass that will cut it for you straight to gum. Then you're able to see better. And cut. Can someone fill this with something, please? Make it strong.
Because you've been charging ahead so blindly. But you know what? Go right ahead. Walk right through the masses.
They won't split for you anyway.
And they won't split anything with you. You think there's something you can get for nothing? An election gift? It's not even a gift you would have selected. You've got to be kidding. Where the hell did he go?
Well, fuck him.
Well, fuck him. We'll fuck him over, just like we got fucked over. We'll figure this out later. Don't forget. Fucking vote. Don't forget. Fucking vote.
Women that say they choose to work there. This is life from inside of one of Britain's brothels. You say to work for costs.
Body has lost hands, good as bad. But I suppose that's everyone, I guess. But come to think of it, it's not that bad for his age.
Lie down there. As you command.
First it came to us, but Eddie was nice again. But actually it's changing with him. The only thing he never changes is his clean slate. Doesn't really. He's still here. Mom, fucking leave.
Toys, role play, kissing,
Blind,
That's all.
man, still has his good vision.
Which is the only one that
He's not as blind as the king.
To your next gentleman, he wants you to come in wearing nothing but
What do you fucking want here? Get out of here already. Leave me alone.
How do you write?
It works like that. I have a book in front of me and I thumb through it, and then it's a sort of lunging for something that will be useful for the text, that will move the text forward. One bears down like a bird of prey. One claws oneself in like a sea eagle who catches his fish, in flight, so to speak. Its claws barely touching the water and then flies right up, or like the buzzard catches the mouse. So then I am, and that's a metaphor which really fits me, a bird of prey that hacks out the stuff. It happens in a kind of in-between zone of stuff out of the carcass. Trying to grasp it with logical thinking would not work, so to speak. Writing functions on a different cognitive level, where you have to believe yourself and behind yourself. Like the buzzard, you're talking about yourself and throw yourself into something else, which is so the music of language. Dead matter. As a vulture, where I have to still create something. Realities are so extreme, complicated and complex, I could not have captured them with my approach, which is always standardizing, lumping together. And I want an event to immediately charge me, like sticking your finger into an electric outlet. But I'm interested in capturing the moment. Writing is almost like backing up the feeling association, and I think I'm writing out of impatience. I am slow. I react slowly because I'm always at home alone. My life lacks stimuli, and this is a chance for me to stalk on the times, or so to speak. That's why I keep writing plays incessantly. It's my way of speaking it, as it were. Actually, I'm exhibiting my
Artists has no ability to meet speakers. It raises the question, as in many other more or less choral texts, who are we?
It has to be discovered who the speakers are at any given moment. Sometimes it is I who speak in the plural's magic status. Sometimes it's an ironical we. It's something the masses appropriate when everyone actually says I. Sometimes it's an abstract I, so there are many we's. There is, bravo, we did it again. That's the collective mocking. A woman does not represent you when she is talking. Well, a man does represent. It is speaking to all. While a woman, even if she speaks to others, probably always speaks to herself, into herself. And probably this we that I tend to use, this
The way you
we is
deconstruct
always
and
camouflage,
reconfigure the male canon,
one cannot
its
say
grammar,
because a woman
idioms,
doesn't
and
have
imagery,
that eye.
the dynamics of your relationship to the dominant language.
A woman is not able to pull off a right with regard to the colonizing, especially in English, because everyone first learns English as a foreign language, and there are so many pigeons, and that is exactly what liberates
And post-colonial writers confront the challenge, how do we speak this language now, the dominant language? Can this be done without showing the rupture?
Language itself gets subverted by breaking it open or remaking languages for oneself. It's not simply a matter of gendering as it's happening right now. The point is to subversely transform language and not just the use of his, language gets depleted like that. That beautiful old Viennese my father spoke, and those idioms. Strain yourself through the sewer cover. Heidegger, the philosopher. The philosopher being who basically had already lost out, but who already said one shouldn't take existential philosophy too seriously. One should also be able to laugh about it. This gives you a special sovereignty over it.
From then on, Heidegger haunts all your texts.
But most of the time I make an ass of him. I keep staring at his text and I don't understand a single word. There we have it, vergreifen, verkneifen, vergreifen, a typical slip of tongue, which could happen to anyone. But there you have a philosopher who absolutely to be the hero, the leader, and that Adolf Hitler and his gang are just waiting for a thinker. That's so grotesque, gushing about his beautiful hands and blue eyes. But Ungeist cannot be led by Geist. Nevertheless, I still think that Heidegger is a great thinker. I mean, I often hear about the profoundest thinkers whom I can't follow at all, not even their simplest sentences, that they actually wanted to be artists. Their great ideal. But for that, you don't really have to know anything. Like, the big will not stay big, the little won't stay little. I preserve the big and I take it down as the big.
So there are Freudian slips, the father's survivor's humor, and Heidegger's digging up of the word roots.
Oh yes, das Nix, nicht that. That's a play on words.
Sure, the nothingness. Heidegger, man, an eigentlicher Mensch, an authentic man. Therefore, losing the one in English, or not being as consistent with it as you can be in German one, loses an essential psychological aspect in the plot. And the question is, where to preserve the foreignness of the text?
Yeah, but in the context it will become clear that it's not, because if it were, everything would be badly translated. But in context you can see how it develops and where it comes from and how in the end it makes sense. It is absurd, like naturalization, for instance. Naturalization, it's also used in German, he is a naturalized German. But that's the opposite of Einbürgerung, which is also over acculturation.
It's not a very flexible word. At best, ship could be connected to the boat as a refugee ship. But they are nowhere near their respective places in your text where I can spin a chain of word plays, which will take me back to the point you are ultimately making. And those points are astutely targeted.
English has a tradition of punning, of silly word games, while in German theater culture, I get constantly beaten over the head by critics for mine. But I think using language as such to tell the truth, even against its will, is a literary tradition. As a vulture, well, I have to still create something. Maybe my brain is a cloud where I search around out of a vague inkling and then I might find something completely different and I immediately know that's it. At any rate, what I'm after is language, per se.
And in your life, you have them right here.
Yes. The teddy bear has become a common thread through several texts. Maybe because they sit in that chair with a gleeful grin. Yes, the teddy bear. And those aren't the only stuffed animals I have. Downstairs I have 200 monkeys. They belong to a friend of mine, but they occupy everything here. Every window, everything, filled with monkeys. The hammock, the chairs, everything. Well, lonely people look for other friends, and mine are those plushies.
I heard that you want to put your figures, or rather language itself, on catherines. They are not psychologically developed characters, but a composition of voices.
I enlarge figures. They are linguistic agitators, which turn people into language. Basically, my characters are linguistic templates. That's, of course, exactly what I get criticized for. Everything I say gets used against me.
Why are you working so many texts for theater now?
As a substitute for living, probably, because I always let others speak for me in places, since I can't go there myself. I haven't seen productions of my plays in the theater in many years, only on DVDs, so it's an Ersatzleitung, so to speak. Images is all I have, because I cannot think.
Well, I'm not going to write that.
There you go. I'm telling you a profound truth and then you don't want to use it. I tell all my directors, but most of them don't have to be told anymore. It must be comical. That's what's most important. Even if it's perhaps not as good as the other one, but it must be used. It's a stylistic tool. It's not satire, it's a tool of mockery. Language that grins about itself, so actually it is a bitter, mocking laugh.
Then directors understand you better than theorists?
Actors understand me very well.
When people ask me about the absence of hope in your writing, I tell them that the hope is in the fact that you keep writing about matters that need to be confronted and worked through. That literature and theater can still do that. How can you live in this world?
I can't. I can't anyway. I'm ill, after all.
But it takes incredible courage.
Well, I don't know.
One has to be captivated by oneself in order to captivate others. One has to be still, but loudest in that stillness. A treasure like myself is most appreciated when absent. On the other hand, I can be seen anywhere, with a little jacket during the day, abiding by the dozens but they don't come cheaper. I cast myself as a cast, plastered but not plastered, and not my waist. My waist is not plastered, and my hair isn't plastered. It's lacquered. I also had a wig, although I always denied it. I became a statue as ordered, with a bleeding man falling on it, and no one forgetting his face during those last minutes. People can also cast themselves, to use that term again, by getting cast out or out of sight. I want to pretend I have no body, although I always presented it as taut, masculine, and athletic. And that new variation you can get anywhere in the 60s. Though not everybody could afford it, I did present it as countless content in countless magazines, in the television, in the movies, and whatnot. So I was cast, and I cast a spell. I still remember what I was thinking. That Jack looks like he had a light headache. He had such a confused expression on his face. And he raised his arm. It must have been the left. I slipped from the seat and I had his face on my lap. I remember that so clearly. Later, there was those pictures of me crawling to the rear of the car, but I don't remember that at all. I carefully breathed devotion into Jack's skull, but actually, and clinically, he is already dead. One cannot know more than what is shown. There is blood and bits of brain all over my suit. But this pink soup will be remembered because it holds my spirits, which can keep learning incessantly until it can become an editor in a publishing firm. And what is left of me? White face, black mass of hair, unshakable like a mountain. Who could shake a mountain? Eyes far apart, no sunglasses ever fit right, because they tear them apart in the middle, like a black panther its prey. That Marilyn parodied me in Walk, in that black plastered wig with the outward flip on the bottom, and all those pearl necklaces. That crazy woman, she didn't understand a thing. I am curled out of space, darkness created by light. She was the light, and that's what she didn't understand. There is nothing more vulnerable than the light. Once we hold the hand, and it's gone. The darkness remains. Night, after all, follows every day. Not bad how Marilyn did it. The intention was clear. That wig looked terrible on her, but it didn't matter. It didn't pay off. Oh well. The far-apart eyes and the sensual mouth will be remembered for centuries. My eyes, my mouth are accessories. My contours are very complicated. You see that light that comes from that woman, Marilyn? Well, that light is wrong. And that is because that is why that woman, who deep down did not interest us at all, that is exactly why that woman died. We all die. But that woman died with a good reason. Because we were not interested. We were more interested in our dead kids, whom we didn't even know, than in that woman. I look at her picture as a piece of furniture in my room, and I forbid Jack any interaction out of pity with her. No misunderstanding now, please. She was never a rival. She wasn't even a rival. She was nothing and nobody. Though everybody knew her. It doesn't matter. Jack will not go down with her, and she will not go down on him. She doesn't count, and that's because she never learned to count. I could have taught her a few things, but she never asked me. She always forgot to pin herself down. Her hair just kept flowing out of the coffin. It wouldn't go in. The biggest humiliation. That would have never happened to my hair. My hair are one smooth, black, absolutely lightless surface. Black, as we know, captures the light and doesn't let it out of its cage again. My husband can die. My brother-in-law can die. 20,000, 100,000 of people can die. In the jungle? Yes. Why not in the jungle? Who cares? At any rate, why would I care? Doesn't matter. They can't do anything to me, and that's because I locked everything up in my clothes, myself included. I am, and I am not. I'm also a bit of a vampire. I'm dead, but I won't die. I get on top of my own flesh, and as a hungry vulture I begin to tear pieces from myself for the crowd to see that I'm also made of flesh. And they really believe it. No, they don't. But that doesn't matter. It was a good act, wasn't it? Once again, it doesn't do any good to express an emotion for everybody to see it. Believe me. I'll tell you my secret. Never rush a crush. I would much rather rush to myself, to comfort myself. Though no one is there. Not even the hair like Marilyn's that fell out quite a while ago all by themselves because of the cancer. Isn't that funny? There isn't any hair to fall out. If I were a body, I would wonder. I wave my hand in front of my face. Hello, anybody home? But I'm just looking at myself. Well, why don't I look at myself? That's what everybody else does. No, no one's home. Not even my hair. Heavens, will you look at that? Not even my hair is home. It's completely uninhabitable. Once again, I am in the middle of renovating. I've just picked the drapes. And it's so great, no one will ask me about my hair. Yes, that's the way we will do it. No questions.
All of our freedoms depend upon this freedom. We want a totally free economy, not only because it guarantees freedoms, but because it is the best way to create wealth and prosperity for this country, for Europe, for the country which has our name and is us. Wealth is the single resource for our growth.
No, for your growth.
For everyone's growth. The wealth in itself is thriving.
Oh, but only when it grows, when it increases. When it grows, right?
Right.
And it grows from this little patch of land which had our name.
But which we never were.
This small European country.
But only relatively small, great in reality.
This little big country, right? No.
Right. We can get better results that will result in better services for those especially close to our hearts.
And our wallets.
Isn't it wonderful? Better benefits for the needy,
Who need our help.
who need our papers. And they're getting them, those papers.
Pick up your papers!
Those were your savings after all. Now they are our savings.
But you don't have them anymore?
But they're fine with us who save to you a lot.
They're doing well.
We promoted the entrepreneurial spirit, and we will keep it moving always in a circle until it comes back to us.
This spirit.
The free entrepreneurial spirit.
Beware when you see it, we take everything and we won't give you anything back for it.
That's what makes us free entrepreneurs.
We freed ourselves from our name.
But which we never were.
Look! The money's coming back to you.
Here it runs.
There it goes, quick! Maybe we can catch up with him?
That's what we promised you.
Your money will return sometime from the Caribbean. At least that's what it says on the luggage ticket.
And the ticket never wins.
Quite some baggage your money carries around with it.
And for this heavy baggage, we gave you a check, which you can cash in.
Now it's coming.
Oh, it's coming.
And aren't you coming at the thought of your money coming back to you?
And watch it hard, isn't that moving?
Aren't you moved at all at the thought of your money coming back to you?
Yes, it's coming.
Your money is good for the old, the sick, the handicapped.
And it's good for us.
But we don't count.
The only thing we count is the money you give us. That's what counts.
We don't count.
We count it on our name, on our account.
And now we sing a little song to our blessed Lord. We won't complain, we won't file a complaint against anyone, and no one will file one against us. Why should they? It would make no sense. We can't raise the dead. We can raise the dead. Capital can resurrect itself. Capital must work. How lucky we don't have it. But evident who does? Who has capital now? Who has capital now? Thank you.
Misery's dark clouds enfold you, right? No?
Oh no.
Far be it for us to be mourning your misfortunes.
It was your own madness that wrecked the house, killed the children, sold the car.
It was you?
Who took the children out of private school and slaughtered them. And now you feel horrible?
And now?
Where did your rage start? Where did it go? Do you remember? Where did you get so messed up to play for Brooke? Lose the game, kill the children, or that one child? Was that really necessary?
Yes, it was necessary.
And then you try to cover it up nicely afterwards? Put its teddy next to it? The wife must be killed with an axe.
The cheapest brand.
Not even 10 euros.
That's the way.
Axe handle brutally against her mouth because you couldn't bear to hear her groan. Both parents must be massacred.
That's necessary.
Absolutely necessary.
The father-in-law was sitting in front of the TV until he was bludgeoned with an axe.
Enough!
You're not a common killer, are you?
You're a special killer?
The father-in-law was the last one of them all.
Enough.
Illness and old age got to him first. He'd be able to sit in front of the TV, but instead he's beaten to a pulp.
Where were you when that happened?
Oh, you did it all by yourself.
A job fit for Hercules. No one can argue with that.
And you don't know where to go? Well, then why not back into the earth's womb, where you came from? You see, above the earth, all belongs to us, but beneath it, you can have it. We don't care, you can take it. Unless, should you find gold.
Or gas.
Or oil.
But the treasures beneath the earth won't disturb you. Nothing will disturb you beneath the earth. Except, should you find those treasures.
Oil.
Or gas.
Electricity.
Uranium.
Flower pots.
Running water.
Then the ground beneath our earth won't belong to you either. Then the dirt beneath your fingernails won't even belong to you. Then nothing will belong to you anymore.
Nothing at all.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Thank you. Mercy.
That was it.
Merci. All you newspapers and magazines. Thank you to Helen Schubert, Mino Bank for the truth, for the annual report, to Euripides. For the truth, yes, the truth and the annual report of 2006.
Felebeznünk már nem lehetséges.
Čak ni kada je reč o mrtvima. Nema potrebe za pojavljivanjem.
Önök a kiegyensúlyozott együttélést kérték.
Ne. Ne od mrtvih.
Mivel ők már nincsenek itt.
Od nas.
Mivel nekünk kellene hozzájárulni a közös jóléthez.
Kako to funkcioniše?
Miféle közös jólét?
Čuli smo za njega.
Már szembesültünk vele.
Nismo glupi.
Körülnézünk.
Ali kako napred da funkcioniše? Ako je zajednički za nekada mi da ga imamo, makar da možemo da ga dobijemo, nakon onih monstruoznih ubica kod kuće. Ne. To nije vaša krivica. Ne nabijamo vam to na nos. Mi bacamo nas ispred vas. Nakon što ste nam uzeli sve. Trebalo bi da dobijemo makar nešto za uzvrat, za mene. Bar nešto bi trebalo da nam bude dostupno. Trebalo bi da dobijemo bar nešto, umjesto što nas nazivate razjarenim, prokletim krdom. Krdo. Krdo, kao životinje. Krdo stranaca.
Önök így hívnak, és helyi vezetés formákat alkalmaznak ott, ahol semmi bűnt nem követtek el, és a Földnek sincsen semmi kapacitása. Senki sem tud megszabadulni az ősi vőrbűn tudatától, ami kiszabadult a Föld legmélyebb méhéből ide hozzánk az összes emberre. A családomra. Kivétel nélkül. Kivéve engem. Én magam mellett állok. Mint halott, szörnyen elkerülte a bűntudatot.
Ali vas nije briga!
Önöket ne zanima. Minden
Niște Jean, ne mogu da pročitam ovo. Murder Jean? Ne. Mi ne znamo ništa, okej? Mi smo bili farmeri, mi smo bili inženjeri, mi smo bili doktori, muškarci i žene, i lekari, naučnici, bili smo nešto da ono bilo, što moramo da vrati brošuru koja postoji na nekoliko jezika. Srpine smo koji svoj manitet i moramo da čitamo brošuru i da je čitamo ponovo i ponovo.
And that is why we gratefully praise our memory in whose service we are, since we can only ever see the dead and get distracted like drivers by a cell phone call. Therefore, we don't understand this brochure. And as much as we try, please be patient. Soon, someone will come and tell us what people we are different from, and who, never expected, shows up here, and what it is you see in us that is so alien to you, and why it is us, and not our enemies' heads, that have been marked for blood. But you don't want to know any of that, and yet, over time, one even learns to understand it, whatever it may be. That is, one gets it at some point, or not.
Forgive me, please.
We know, of course,
That people are not fond of wordy speeches such as mine.
Thank you very much.
The brochure is brief and clear.
It's not limited to specific circumstances.
It's limitless.
It applies to all.
Thus your superiority over us.
Yes, I understand. Freedom can be a feeling. I'm telling you. A feeling. Not everyone has it. Nature knows it. So does sports. The skier in the mountains knows it. Everybody knows the feeling of freedom. Everybody knows it. Everyone knows the feeling. Freedom! That's all we needed. Yes, that's what we needed. We need the freedom for free time. Freedom is what we needed. Yes, that one there. Sorry, nothing's left. I wanted to save you some, but suddenly it's all gone. Well, it's because I took this freedom, and I took that freedom. And suddenly nothing's left. I left no freedom for myself. Bad deal. That other one's better. I'll take it. What? What do you mean someone else has already got it? That's outrageous. Well, if that's the case, then I'll just take the one right next to it, even though someone already reserved it. I take the liberty to use people. No, put people to use. Wrong. It's freedom I put to use. Yes. I use it to condemn and condone the freedom of others. But not other people. I have no use for other people. It's freedom I can use. Which can also be taken as freedom of opinion and squeezed like a lemon. Everything's gone when it's been pressed out. Not that there was much to begin with
anyways.
Freedom
Freedom ends where yours begins.
Mi szabadságunk
Yes, indeed.
kezdődik, a mi szabadságunk,
But
a
yours
mi.
doesn't begin.
A mi.
I'll take care of that. And mine doesn't end. And that's that.
Szabadságunk.
Your freedom ends before it begins. And mine doesn't end. That's that.
Merde! Des petites robes légères, portées par les jeunes filles. Je suis la petite fille à l'intérieur de la femme. On doit ajouter de la pompe et de la majesté à tout le monde, sauf à soi-même. Il faut rester simple et ça prend du courage, si on s'aime. Voilà pourquoi toutes les maîtresses de Jacques ne sont pas atteintes. Un trésor comme moi ne peut être apprécié que dans son absence. En même temps, on me voit partout. Oh Jack, je t'aime, je s'envole. Je fais du cheval, du tennis, du ski nautique et du parapente. C'est comme ça que je me fais plaisir, que je me console. Faut-il toujours attendre aussi longtemps dans le couloir pour que Dieu vous serre la main? Même De Gaulle et Khrouchtchev n'ont pas dû attendre aussi longtemps. C'est l'heure pour un poème. Assurez-vous que votre robe est un poème. Il faut s'adapter. C'est seulement en captant l'attention de tout le monde que vous vous adaptez. Nous semblions immortels et invincibles, pas un gramme de surpoids charnel. Aucune femme ne peut garder sa silhouette. J'ai conseillé à M. Cassini de prendre mes mesures, mais de confectionner des vêtements pas trop justes, qui ne touchent jamais mon corps. Rien, ni personne ne peut me toucher si je ne le veux pas. Le dessin ne m'a pas exaucé. Ma couleur préférée est le blanc. Je partage cette couleur avec la mort, qui blanchit tout. Rien n'est si propre s'il ne met pas la main dessus. Les vêtements sont morts, sauf quand je les porte. Est-ce que je ne vis que par mes vêtements? Cela n'a aucune importance. Par contre, il faut décrire une robe, sinon elle n'existe pas. Une robe vit par la description qu'on en fait. Moi, je suis la robe par-dessus. Non, la robe est plus que moi. Elle est plus grande. Elle ne se mélange pas avec la forme de mon corps. Elle est plus forte que moi. Elle restera ainsi dans la mémoire des gens. Une femme aussi peu sûre d'elle comme moi a l'air sûre d'elle dans le système. Le monde. On peut être debout et malheureux toute la journée. Personne ne s'en rend compte. On peut être debout et injuste toute la journée. Personne ne s'en rend compte. C'est étrange. L'humanité entière rêve de drogue, mais seulement peu d'entre nous en font usage. C'est bien. Mon médecin était le meilleur. Il ne disait rien et me prescrivait ces merveilleuses petites pilules que nous avalions. Nous devenions comme elle, belles, minces et rapides. Ces choses nous rendaient fortes et tenaces. Cependant, quoi que nous fassions, nous les femmes, il y a quelque chose qui transparaît à travers nous. C'est la mort. Personne ne garde sa silhouette, je l'ai déjà dit. Et d'autres l'ont dit aussi. Jacques refuse de partir avec elle, et elle ne me peut le succès. Peu importe. Elle ne compte pas parce qu'elle n'a jamais appris à compter. Personne ne garde sa silhouette. Ils sont tous morts. Mon monde maintenant, c'est la mort. D'autres ont leur culture, que j'ai aussi. Plus que mes belles-sœurs idiotes, centre de leur cercle d'amis. Nous l'avons tous. Mais dès que nous sentons monter la culture en nous, nous la combattons, car nous ne voulons rester nous-mêmes. Je n'ai pas toujours été riche. J'étais même pauvre, très pauvre, mais issue d'une famille riche. Nous n'avons jamais dû économiser. Nous les riches, même pauvres, resterons toujours là, car nous sommes toujours épargnés nous-mêmes. Voilà pourquoi nous sommes si peu nombreux. Nous restons entre nous. Même avec ce grand vide autour de nous, la vide de la mort. C'est une brume qui monte et descend. C'est un après-midi, gâché à se dorer sur une plage déserte, une soirée passée à ne rien faire. Comment garder quelque chose de soi si tout soit tout gardé? Elle va pourrir car la chair pourrit. Et même si elle est lumineuse, il faudra qu'elle pourrisse. Nous vivons la première naissance naturelle, la naissance de ce qui est naturel, de la nature elle-même, et puis tout s'arrête.
On peut passer des heures à regarder la nature. Et puis, tout s'arrête. Quand elle meurt, il faut lâcher prise. Dans mon cas précis, vous verrez la naissance de l'artifice, caché si intelligemment par la nature, qu'elle disparaît et la vie part avec elle. Comme si l'une ou l'autre était naturelle. Vous voyez, l'effet est le même. Que ce soit la naissance de l'art ou de la nature, elles pourrissent toutes les deux lorsque nous nous en approchons. Quand la nature part, la vie part aussi. Elles sont inséparables, comme je l'ai déjà dit. Les seins devraient décider si elles sont d'accord avec les hanches qui les accompagnent. Le visage et les jambes devraient décider de correspondre aussi. C'est beaucoup demandé, mais nous, les riches, nous pouvons l'exiger. Nous pouvons tout exiger, car nous l'avons déjà dit. L'artificiel ne doit pas se montrer. La nature entre toujours dans le jeu, même si ce n'est pas très artistique. Pauvre femme. Comme s'il ne suffisait pas de perdre la clé. Elle l'a jetée par la fenêtre pour être sûre de ne jamais la retrouver. Elle n'était jamais vraiment là. J'ai décidé qui et quand et où je voulais être. C'est la vie. La chair succombe et elle succombe surtout dans les banlieues. La chair s'échappe en courant des banlieues. Elle vient vers nous sur les plages. Elle nous dépasse et court vers les kiosques dans lesquels elle est entrée de nous, même si on est là. Et la chair est en os. Mais on ne se mêle jamais à la foulée. Je suis complètement privée, en étant complètement publique. Et l'un n'empêche pas l'autre. Je suis une sorte de vampire. Je suis morte, et je ne vais pas mourir. La lumière s'échappe. Elle était la lumière qui fuit quelque chose qui a déjà disparu, tandis que c'est encore là. Elle a encore des sentiments, mais ce n'est qu'une blague. Elle veut simplement être, et en même temps, elle veut être regardée. Ce n'est pas possible. Pas comme ce docteur mort, qui s'assure qu'on puisse toujours parler de lui. Même la mort doit faire son marketing. Car sinon, qui aurait envie de le mentionner?
I forgive you, miss.
Life goes on. Folks go away. Life is inexplicable. The motion of changing location starts sliding. Everything is going too quickly to catch a proper view of things. Or another. Such a lottery, though. We have lost already. No, sorry. You have lost already. Deny people force, and they'll turn against you to get it back. Force is their favorite hobby. And it's also a nice profession. Hear ye. The king is in charge of it, and he is not for sharing it.
He just decided this once and for all, and thus he validated it to an end. All other regulations expired. Have expired, for violence is not something external, in case you've observed it with children. The way they share shovel and sand bucket, and voluntarily. And already yet, the next moment the bucket, including its contents, lies in the playmate's face. Here comes the king!
Once more! Unto the breach, dear friends. Once more. Or close the walls up with our American dead. Peace. There's nothing so become as a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blasts of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the time! Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. Now lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Let the brow overwhelm it, as fearfully as doth the galled rock overhang and juddy his confounded base. Swelled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now, set the teeth and stretch the nostrils wide. Hold hard the breath and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you noblest Americans, whose blood is fed from fathers of war-proof. Fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now, attest that those whom you call fathers did beget you. Be copy now to those of grosser blood, and teach them to war! And you, good yeomen, whose limbs were made here in America, show us now the mettle of your pastures. Let us swear that you're worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble luster in your eyes. I see you stand there like greyhounds in the slips, straining from the start. The game's afoot. Follow every spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for hey, America, and say charge! Go
Please, Miss Humphrey, get back to work.
The fridge takes care of the cat's food. That is the carrying concern. But it also carries it out, according to the thinker. Very practical. But you won't get it anyway. Let us hide the hamburger for now.
Burgers. Hamburgers. Burgers. 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 Burgers, burgers, burgers. Somebody stole 3 of my hamburgers! Did you steal them? Why are you looking at me like that? Are you saying that my guard stole it? Guard! Show me your mouth. It's clearly empty. What have you got? Dog! Guards! 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 We'll pay for this. Treacherous dog. Off with her head. Chop, chop.
Now you! Well, you're in for a surprise. You'll see. You can already see, but you can't believe it yet. So, I enjoyed talking my head off. We have something to tell you. I think I already told you. Did I already tell you? All things are simple, and many can be described in a single word. I think I already told you that. But I didn't tell you the word, which lets you finally express all that you cannot have, or know, or name. So, here goes. Justice, honor, mercy, hope. The foreword is so fantastic. How fantastic, how fabulous will the word itself be? The word that was in the beginning and shall be forever and everywhere. You can say any word and it is already with God, because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And you shall also be delivered from all earthly things, which you don't have much of anymore anyways. But you too shall be with him. The child of God you will always be. Remember, God is with you. But you don't remember anything, do you? My word is totally wasted on you. Doesn't matter. Our clients represent almost all political viewpoints. Well, some are missing, but I'm sure they'll be replaced in time for things to fall into place. So, they also represent many religious communities. You can describe our destiny in one single word. You're Oh my God. I just dropped that word. And I lost it. I just wasted it senselessly on a bunch of total dimwits. Don't matter. Okay, well. So, that's okay. The word is with God now. It was the final trip. The plane crashed, and so did the market, and that is why it was the final heavenly trip on earth. That word is with God now, and it's not coming back from there because it really likes it there. And now, it's silent. Soon, there will be no more words for it. Europa. Money is our God. God, our gold, in whom we trust. And we shall find him there, but we won't find our money there, even though we worshipped it. We are the gods. We got all fired up, and, well, you just got burned. We burned your capital, but it was very small, so it didn't burn very long. Your poor little Cappy. It's already been sunk offshore on one of the Channel Islands. Well, maybe not on the island, but definitely offshore somewhere. But that's okay.
That's the end of that chapter. Yes. Jesus Christ. Just let it live, okay? Period. That's a lot already. Your capital goes on living. It has eternal life beyond your death. You were simply its host, your sweet little Cappy. But that chapter's over now. It's gone to live with us now. And it's all Greek to us, so. Caution please, the water is only 5 feet deep here, so you can't dive in, otherwise you'll be paralyzed. And so you don't want to take a dive, do you? You don't want to be immobilized, you just want a stimulus like us, so that our days may be long and go well in the land that our Lord has given us. Oh, but that's okay. You know, Europe, we did find. We sit right in the middle of it. Eureka! In order for you to know your limits, right now we are showing you the borders of Europe, which are much more expansive than your pursuits of profit. So that's okay. Go on, invest in more debts. We support your debts, and we can also support your debt too, if you like. You are completely insecure and unsecure. Well, if that's the case, let us show you your natural limits, which of course don't overlap with those of Europe. You are much smaller. But your plans for the future will collapse no matter what plans you have. So, you walk a narrow line. You walk the line, but without cash, Johnny. And let me tell you, the difference between Europe and Asia, the demarcation, is not a mountain range, an age range, or a shooting range. It's not a range at all. Rather, it's a system of faith and ideas, which we like to call Western civilization. Well, isn't that a great idea? Europe as a spiritual concept. And if you stop carrying the concept of Europe in your heart, it will die. So, we proclaim programmatically that the spiritual concept of Europa will not die, as some people predict. Quite the contrary, we declare that it should live and shine and bring light to those parts of the world where terror and unrest rule. In Europe, everyone can believe. You can believe in whatever you want. That's Europe. Christianity has for centuries shaped and hammered and twisted its history, which it then held up against art, science, industry, success, diligence, Europa. Go ahead, believe in whatever you want. It won't affect us. We don't have to submit to any control, but we do.
We don't have to allow any degree of control, but we do. We make allowances for all controls. We even allow ourselves to control ourselves. There is no control by God. God knows there's no control. God knows there's no control under God. There's supposed to be only one nation under God. God controls himself, and that means no one can control him. He is the ultimate justice authority on a rocky downward trail of appeal. He is the highest authority on a rocky downward trail of appeals. For God loves the poor the most. He doesn't care for us, but we don't care because he can't control us. That's the truth. This prevents you and everyone else from feeling like little God without knowing what God really looks like. Everyone like little God. You'll all be like gods. We promise you. Cross my heart and hope to die after you signed our contracts. A man is a man, but we'll get back to that as soon as we've been sent off. We figured out the will of God when money still had value. Were you even aware that your money was doing God's work? No need to check train schedules, flight schedules, boat schedules. You will never get to the island. You can also run until you are run over, but you will never grasp Europe's dimensions. But we grasp you. We grasp your capital and use it to stake out Europe's dimensions. We have only you and Europe's prosperity in mind and in our pockets. First in the mind, then in the pockets we filled. We stuffed them with, but not to make us drown. We would have to be in the ocean for that. find out nothing. Which land can we set foot on? None. We stand around unsettled. We are sent away again. We lie down on the cold church floor. We get up again. We came on our own, a train of supplicants. The horizon turns into nothing. It ends at the mountains. The sea is a hole, a gorge. No one there anymore.
I loudly lamented.
I let myself be swept away by invisible waves, thrown from cliff to cliff. I was turned into water as well, sinking like a statue, almost elegantly with raised hands. Now we are strangers in the night. No one will accept us. No one lets us stand on the ground. No, what they want is to divert us, like rivers, streaming to a nowhere they cannot flood. Thus our voice will fall into a void, into weightlessness. It will fall into nothing, where it will hover.
No God hinders my flight. She beams, she shines.
So there is your light-winged God hanging. But what can you expect from a bird? The lady is a dove, and it is her I call upon in my prayer. You, eyes of the sun, hitting the cathedral ceiling, we implore you. How could we find our way in such opaqueness? The clearest eyes shine in the dark, but still cannot see. A God, deep in secret darkness, but a well-rounded body of sound. Maybe we can sing too in her body of sound. But we wait unquestioningly for questioning. We have kept silent so often. We have only whispered lamentations. We have a sea of troubles, but are we washed? No, not washed, but spinning. In the beginning, we created heaven and earth, and water too, of course, for our wet grave.
Write this down. There is always room for nothing.
If nothing has filled up the entire room like water, then where can we draw the line?
Nowhere.
If there is nowhere to draw the line, then where is the separation between our bodies and the eternal ocean?
Non-existent.
If there is no separation, then what is the difference?
Forgotten.
If the difference is forgotten, then how are we set apart?
We weren't.
If there is no difference and nothing was set apart, then where is the nothingness?
Nowhere.
If the nothingness is nowhere, then how are we something?
We aren't.
No. Now say it again, please. Then we will better understand what is not supposed to be understood. Grumblers, be gone. Whiners, step aside. Keep it inside your pants. Alright, there is no more room. The bottom, that's what you are yourself. Is this what follows the follies? Is this the outcome or the outburst? Now what? Of the being's will or the being's bull? Which hits the fans? The bull's fans. The subjectivity of the subject of the subject. Now, how conscious now? And if you are unconscious, then everyone can chip around you, can cut and drill into you, scratch you. You won't notice. Something hits, and it takes a hit. Unfortunately, still, it keeps hitting. It hits on every feeling because that's all it can do. They can do more than feel, those who cherish and choose you. Now the king will say, that has already been said, old age is a massacre. Can anyone look at you? Awful. Oh well, I just hide behind my gold then, which I usually showed up with. Oh. You are quite a looker. Why were you hiding? Oh Lord. Now we finally understand it. Why you were hiding from us for so long? It's because of a hairdo. You're a nightmare, and better your mouth would stay shut. Rather, let's turn to those who don't have to hide themselves, who haven't been touched by the darkness of death, who aren't way their past shelf life, who can last a bit longer. Who are those touring up all of a sudden? They take off. No, not their clothes. They tear and they rip themselves off. No, they cover our silence and scream. They scream out loud everything they know. Luckily, it doesn't last long. Only until the white color has dried, which they had put on them, in case there has been enough color before. Here they are, not a minute too late, finally. They are showing themselves, and their world, which they don't have. It's under the burnish. You've got to be kidding. Well, where the hell did you go? Well, fuck him. Well, fuck him all like we got fucked. It didn't take a village. We never made it to the city. We hate the city because it didn't let us in. It didn't even let us near it. Now, they exercise power. Power is the essence that demands surrender, utter surrender. We still look at power as something external, while it is inside us. It's already inside us. We surrender to it. And then it wasn't even our lover. We never wanted a horrible type like that. Did you see his face, his hair? We never wanted that. That's not what we wanted. But we got him. And now he's inside us. We sacrifice to him. We sacrifice ourselves to him. But this sacrifice does not appease him. He wants to continue to live in his sky-fucking scraper where there is so much gold. I hate correctness. Correctness is what I hate most. And we are the most. We sing. We never thought that he is the savior of the world. So when he makes mistakes, we will criticize him. Twitter thought, well, you think we won't dare to talk to? For example, the king got plans, he got this and he got those. One always after the other. And then there was another comment about the king. It was pathetic. The woman charges were pathetic. How often have we already heard that in our lives? All the time. Everyone says what he says. Everyone assaults the one he has assaulted. Everyone assaults everyone except if they know him. And even then, but we trust him, and his daughter is a great advocate for him. It's her vocation. She vowed to us and keeps on vowing with her vow. I am for it. Yes, she defended the king. Therefore, it cannot be true. This is why I believe her. You would even know that's the greatness of the democracy. We must have it somewhere. Search, stop. It's so great that now everyone can protest. Twitter quote, chup, bit. So great that now everyone can protest. He didn't speak well of women. Outrage comments, like, don't like. Yet, we don't see the ill kings tolerated. Not the ills he will do. We don't see them, and they probably won't even come out. Rather, into darkness we look like he, who no longer has eyes. He does